everyone. Please excuse my appearance. I am just popping on here really quickly to do an intro. I was not planning on filming this evening, but I got a new palette in the mail and I wanted to get on and do a swatch party with you guys. P.Louise and Mikayla collaboration to have and to hold in case you get cold palette. This has been a very polarizing, no pun intended, palette on the internet for the last few weeks, so I decided to pick it up since I have recently fallen in love with P.Louise eyeshadows. So I wanted to pick up this palette and see what all the buzz is about because I know a lot of people have thoughts on this palette. So I will not be doing a tutorial or using these on my eyes tonight. I'm going to do that hopefully either tomorrow or the next day and try to get that video up for you guys. So this is strictly just going to be swatches of all the colors in this palette. And you guys, this is a large eyeshadow palette, so it definitely took me some time. And really quickly, if you guys enjoy watching my videos, please give me a quick thumbs up and a comment down below letting me know what you think of this palette or any thoughts you have on it. The engagement really helps a lot with helping my videos get seen by new viewers. So if you enjoy my videos, please consider giving me a quick little thumbs up. One thing I didn't know, when you open up the palette, it actually lights up with the little icicles at the top. That was kind of a cute little surprise I didn't realize, so that was neat. My palette is a mess now. I have been swatching like crazy for the past hour. So this is what the palette looks like if you are not familiar with it. It is a lot of blues and it is a lot of neutrals in here. So one of the big critiques that a lot of people were saying about this palette is just how repetitive some of the colors are and how large the palette itself is. I will say this is a pretty large eyeshadow palette and I have gone through, swatched everything, done comparisons, and hopefully this will help you guys decide if this is something you want to purchase or if you just want to see the swatches. Hopefully this video will help you. So quick little disclaimer, all of these I swatched with my fingers onto my arms. I did, unless otherwise specified, with 2 passes of the shadow. Most of the foils I only did 1 pass of, but again, unless I specifically say, you can assume everything was swiped twice. I'm not using any type of base or anything to make the shadows adhere to my skin. They are just bare naked swatches with my fingers. So without further ado, let's get into the major swatch party. Okay, we have the top row here. These are all matte. So starting from left to right, we have Engaged on Ice, Cody James, The Hawkins, Mikayla Jane, and To Have and To Hold. So for this row, these are all matte shadows. I think that the 2 most similar are these 2 here. The first one here is Cody James and The Hawkins. These are very, very similar. Not sure how well the difference will show up on camera, but The Hawkins is just a very hair darker than Cody James. So I feel like if we were going to try to pare down this palette a bit, one of those colors would definitely have to go. So I think we could easily take this row from 5 shadows down to 4. Okay, now we have the next row down. Now these are a little bit more of like a cornflowery kind of blue compared to the last row. Again, from left to right, we have Currico. Sorry if I am mispronouncing anything. Next is Lulu, Newport, Rhode Island, Castle Hill, and The Commons. Again, we have some more very similar colors to each other. I think that these first 2 are very similar. I think these were colors that are named after their pets. This one I think is kind of like a little bit of a weaker color. This one definitely needed some more passes to get it to really show up on the skin, and it's so similar to the color Lulu. I kind of feel like, again, we could have knocked one of those out. These 2 are also slightly similar, but this one does go a little bit deeper and a little bit darker. As far as how it would look blended out on the eyes, these 2 would look extremely similar, but as far as the individual swatches, I feel like they are slightly different enough where you could have both if you wanted. This one I am in love with. This is definitely for me the star row of this entire palette, and I think that all of these colors are well warranted to have each and every one of these colors. I also want to mention that all of these are a 1 swipe. I did not build these up. I did not feel the need to. So left to right, we have Winter Kiss, Newlyweds, Something Blue, July 1st, 2023, and Mr. and Mrs. I love all these colors. I think that these are truly gorgeous and magical. This one goes a little bit more of like a icy blue. This one goes a little bit more lavender. Same with these next 2 as well. The tones of these are all completely different. So I hope that that is coming across on camera because these, you guys, are stunning. I think she did a really great job on this row. These look great. I have no complaints. Just want to point out, I don't know if it'll be obvious on camera, but I do have a tiny bit of staining right here from that last color, Mr. and Mrs. And that was only on my skin for, I don't know, 2 minutes tops, and there was already just a little bit of staining, so just something to be aware of. Okay, we're on row 4. These kind of go more into purple, violet, indigo type of shades. So from left to right, we have Forever in Love, November 20th, 2021, The Vows, Frozen in Time, and The Next Chapter. As far as these two purples here, at first they looked very similar when I swatched them, but when I did the second swatch on this one, it did kind of make it look a little bit deeper and darker. So some people might say these are a little close. However, all the other ones on this row, I would say are considerably different shades. There were only two that I didn't love how they swatched. That was this one here, which is The Vows, and then this last one here, which is The Next Chapter. Those I felt like they just didn't swatch as nicely, but I mean the color payoff is still obviously really there, and especially this one here, which is Frozen in Time. Man, that one is extremely pigmented. I'm worried this one might stain, so I'm gonna wash this off and we'll see real quick. All right, I'm actually surprised I didn't really have any staining with those, so I will eat my words. Row 5, first we have January 23rd, 2021. Then we have Love at First Swipe. Then we have Off the Market, Just Married, and Emerald Eyes. Again, you guys, these three shimmers on the end here, these are one swipe, and this one, holy moly, that is a one swipe swatch. This is a crazy intense, like foiled, almost slightly bit of a creamy texture to those intense foily shadows. Again, on this one, I feel like as far as all these colors in this row are quite different, but I do think that there are some similar colors. I'm gonna come back and we're gonna look at this one again. This one is called Love at First Swipe. We're gonna test that against a few other colors after we get through each row. So don't worry, we're coming back. All right, again, we do have a little bit of staining right here. This one was Just Married. I'm not surprised, to be honest, with how that swatched. So we have a little bit of staining there, and also just a tiny bit of this one, which was called Off the Market. But this one's really the one that kind of left a little bit of a stain. All right, we are on to row 6. First off, we have Wedding Blues, I Do, First Dance, Officially Yours, and Captured Heart. Okay, first things first, these two, you guys, very similar. Definitely think one of these could go, and if I was gonna pick one to go, I'd probably say this one. I feel like it's just not as strong as the color I Do. This one is called First Dance. I mean, looking at them in person, I can see this one is just a hair lighter and slightly more purple, whereas this one is like slightly more blue. But you guys, honestly, I mean, come on. Those are similar. And again, I will be coming back to this one. I feel like we got another similar one. These two actually are not as similar to each other as they might seem. This one's definitely more of like a true blue, and that one is called Officially Yours, whereas Captured Heart almost goes a little bit more to like that tealy, slightly peacocky kind of blue. So again, I feel like these two are different enough to have both of them in the palette, but they are very slightly different color tones. All right, we are officially out of the blues on row 7, and we are into the neutral side of the palette. So from left to right, we have 2 cards, No Cold Feet, Wedding Day, Iconic, and June Baby. And these last two here on the end are a single swipe each. Of course, that gold, bronzy color, Iconic, rightfully named. This is a gorgeous, amazing, high intensity, super pigmented. I'm super impressed with that. And this one, June Baby, is also very pigmented as well. I didn't feel the need to do another pass of that, so that is a single swipe. 2 cards is very similar to my skin tone, so I'm hoping that you are able to see that on camera. I would say that all colors on this row, as far as each other, all warrant being there. They're all different enough to have them all. We will be coming back to this first one here. I see some other ones that could be quite similar, but that is it for this row. We do have just a tiny bit of staining from the June Baby color, but not too bad at all, but just be aware of that. All right, next we are on row 8. So from left to right, we have Champagne Toast, Cody's Favorite, Happily Ever After, Pug Parents, and Fairy Tale Ending. Again, with these, those foils, those shimmers, amazing. One swipe each. They're beautiful. This one, I was actually very surprised with this last one here. This one is Fairy Tale Ending. This one almost looks like a deep brown, but it almost swatches more of like a matte burgundy with like a little bit of like a reddish tone to it. So that one actually looked quite a bit different than what I was expecting. That one was actually a little bit of a wild card color for me as well. So that is it for this row. All right, we are on the penultimate row. This is another all matte neutral row. So for this one, we have Chosen Family, You Are Enough, Dream Life, Soon to Be, and Bravery. Okay, these three here are looking kind of similar. I mean, the undertones are very slight, and I would say like they're basically just like one stair step down in depth. I feel like these two are the most similar, and again, we'll be coming back and comparing those with some colors in the other rows, because we've got quite a few colors like that in this palette. So we'll be coming back to that one as well as these dark browns too. I will compare all of those. Okay guys, finally, we are on to the very last row here. So for these colors, we have When You Know, You Know, Till Death Do Us Part. I love that one. Oh my gosh, I love this one. Then we have Struggles into Strengths. Then we have Tall King. And finally, Short Queen. Okay, so those are all of these swatches row by row. Now I'm gonna go through, pick out some similar colors, swatch them side by side, and give you guys a comparison of the similar colors, in my opinion, from this palette. Okay guys, so for the first row of comparisons, I actually turned down one of my lights off completely, so hopefully this will show up, I don't know. But these are all of like the really light, peachy, tans, beiges, whatever you want to call these. There are a lot of these, and while they do have some slight color differences, you guys, oh my gosh, these are way, way, way too many to have in one palette, in my opinion. First one we have here is called Two Cards. Next to that is Cody's Favorite. Those two are extremely similar. Definitely don't think we need both of those. This one is Chosen Family, and I wish I would swatch it right next to this one, which is When You Know, You Know. Again, so similar. We do not need both of those. Coming back to this one is called You Are Enough. And then finally, this one is called Struggles into Strengths. I know this is going to be a very hard row to distinguish on my skin tone, so I apologize for that, but whew, very, very similar. I feel like we probably could have gone with like 3 of these colors and axed all the rest. Okay, the next row for comparisons, these are more of like the slightly deeper browns, a little bit darker than the last row, but not the darkest browns. So for this row, we have Cold Feet, Dream Life, Soon to Be, Tall King, and Short Queen. So some of these aren't as similar as I thought. Maybe these two here, No Cold Feet and Tall King, are a little bit similar. I'd say Tall King's a little bit ashier, whereas No Cold Feet is slightly warmer, a little more peachier, but those two are kind of similar. Then we have these two here. That one is Dream Life and Soon to Be. Again, super similar. I would say really the tone difference is what's different between these two. I'd say this one is slightly cooler and this one is just slightly warmer. And this one here, Short Queen, I would say this one's actually pretty different than all the others. So this one was really just like a comparison to the others. I wouldn't say that this one necessarily looks like these. So we'll give that one a pass. Okay, next row of comparison. Again, we've got a lot of similar colors with very slight undertone differences, but I think that once these are on the eyes, a lot of these are gonna look similar. So first one here we have is June Baby. Then we have Pug Parents. Then we have Bravery. And just to really show that color tone difference, I went ahead and swatched Fairy Tale Ending, just so you can really truly see how much warmer and how much more red tone this is compared to the other 3 browns in this palette. I definitely think these two here, the middle two, are the most similar, whereas June Baby is probably what I'd call the coolest and darkest of all the browns. But honestly, I think we could have done with one of those and it would have been totally enough for a dark brown for this palette. Okay, next set of comparisons. I have all of the neutral shimmer colors here. So the first one here is called Till Death Do Us Part, and next to that is Champagne Toast. I do think these two colors are quite similar. In real life, Till Death Do Us Part does have a bit more of like a gold reflex, whereas this one definitely does seem to be a little bit more of like a champagne color. I don't know if you'll really be able to see that difference on camera. There's just a little bit more gold into Death Do Us Part, but honestly, on the eyes, these are gonna look so, so similar, you guys, so similar. I think that both colors are very gorgeous. I think if we were gonna pick one to keep, I would keep Till Death Do Us Part, and I'd skip on Champagne Toast. And then these two, I don't really think they're that similar, but I wanted to just go ahead and swatch these in comparison as well. This one is called Happily Ever After. It's definitely more of like a coppery kind of bronze. And then this one is called Iconic. This one's definitely more cool toned, a little bit more of like a goldeny kind of bronze. This one's definitely more of like a warm orangey bronze. I'm okay with having both of these in the palette. I think these are two really pretty colors, and I don't know, I like them. I think we can keep them both. Okay, next set of comparisons. Now, to be honest, I don't really think that these are very comparable at all. In the pan, they might look slightly similar, but I think that these are honestly the two coolest colors in the entire palette. So the first one we have here is called Newlyweds, and then this one here is called Emerald Eyes. I think that these are so totally different. Newlyweds is almost a little bit more of like a lavender to green kind of shift, and then Emerald Eyes is almost a little bit more of like a peachy pink kind of shift with just a little bit of like a purpley undertone. So honestly, I don't think these are that similar, and I think they're both stunning. So I like them both. We're keeping both of them in my opinion. All right, next comparison. These are some of the matte blue colors here. So starting off this first one here, this one is called Castle Hill. Right next door to that one is The Commons. Then we have Love at First Swipe, and finally Wedding Blues. So in person I can see the minor tonal differences between these colors, but honestly you guys, I really don't think we needed all four of these. I could say maybe two max, and that's still kind of pushing it. I just honestly think that these are very, very similar to each other when they would be like blended on the eyes. Would you really see that much of a difference between it? I really don't think you would. So honestly, I feel like we could have summed this up with one color and gotten this color across in the color story. So honestly, kind of feel like this one is one of the most repetitious colors aside from some of the light neutral colors. Alright guys, and I think this is going to be my final color comparisons. Again, I will admit some of these I can definitely see some noticeable color tone differences. But again, just I feel like this is way too many similar colors in this palette. So the first one we have over here, this one is called Officially Yours, Frozen in Time, I Do, First Dance, and The Vows. I think mainly these last four here are more similar. I feel like this one's definitely different enough that I feel like we could have one of these and then like that darker blue there. Another one, I feel like there's just way, way, way too many of the same similar kind of color in one palette. All right, so if you guys made it this far into the video, leave me a comment down below and include, let's do the snowflake emoji to let me know you made it this far. You guys, that was a lot of makeup wipes that I went through with swatching this whole palette. So I really hope you guys appreciate this video. I hope it helps you out with deciding if this is a palette you want to buy or if you're just curious about the colors. I hope that this was helpful for you. I will try to have a tutorial and more in-depth review coming up very soon. So that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please like and subscribe. You can follow me on Instagram. Link is below. And until my next video, I will talk to you guys later.